All right, dog, let's get going with this. All right, welcome to 605 Juice. My name is Darren Douglas. I'm here with my partner, Matt Kemp. We are your local gambling podcast. We are coming to you from the Terrapin Podcast Studios at 132 West Hudson in Spearfish, South Dakota. We come to you under the umbrella of the Terrapin Podcast Network. If you fancy yourself a podcaster and want to come down and try it out, let me know. Come see us and we'll get you going. How's it going today, Matt?
Good, man. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. You're back from Vegas. How was Vegas?
Vegas was good. It was a good trip. Yeah.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed at Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood. I like Planet Hollywood. Cabo Wabo in front there. I like to just sit and watch people walk right in front of there.
Yeah, we
and drink margaritas.
That's right. Yeah, we got 5 of us went down and we went for the upgraded suites. We had a 2-bedroom suite that was overlooking the fountains and
was
stuff.
it one of those pano ones that?
Yep.
Oh, those things are
all
nice.
all the way along the front, and we could see the fountains go off, and it was cool. We spent a little bit more money on a suite, but
did you make any money to pay for it? Is the question.
We did. It was actually a crazy trip as far as, Monday we got there about noon and we just gambled all day. And a lot of times that's make or break for your trip, right? You could be broke going into day 2. I got on a little $2,900 heater at the blackjack table and kind of set it up for the rest of the week. So
I was going to say, what do you like to play other than putting numbers on games and stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I like to play all the games. I just like to mess around. I play some slots and, we played a lot of blackjack. We played a lot of, Mississippi Stud and Ultimate Hold'em and stuff like that, just to kind of pass the time. And
I like to play craps because it's so social of a game, right? Everybody, when one wins, everybody wins most of the time anyway.
Yep, we had a couple good runs on the craps table, and
some of the card games are a little intimidating for a guy like me, as far as like poker and some of the Texas Hold'ems and stuff. I don't want to get involved with some guy. I feel like I sit at those tables and they all look at you and go, "Okay, we're going to take his money, and we'll start taking each other's again."
Yeah. I know that's it's always intimidating too when you get some of those strip properties. It's not like you're playing for $5 either. So you sit down at a Ultimate Hold'em table and the buy-in's 25. I mean, just to get into the game's $25 every single hand. So it's like you're putting a little more money down there, and you can either be there a long time or be gone in 5 minutes.
Better be good free booze and good free food if that's how it's going to be going down, right?
Yeah.
Where flew out on Allegiant, I suppose. Flew back.
Yeah, we went Allegiant.
Pleasure.
Yep, we went Allegiant Monday, and then it did suck. Thursday morning, we came home. We had the 6 a.m. flight, so we're leaving our hotel at 4 a.m. Not good.
How was the line?
The security?
Yeah, well, even just to get into Allegiant, I mean, there's times when I leave out of there and you pull up in front, and the line to just get into your ticketing is
we all just did
way down.
We all did carry on, so we went straight to security, went through, and security's quick there. I mean, they got it figured out.
Oh yeah,
we were through in 20 minutes. We sat there for an hour in the airport. So I mean, next time we're not going to leave as early, obviously. But
I have that clear that I can go when I travel and stuff, so I can go up to those. I can go up to like a kiosk, right?
Oh yeah,
and then I check in or whatever, and then a person takes me right to the front.
Of the
nice. Security line, and it pisses people off, especially in Vegas.
Everyone's staring at you.
Oh yeah. They stare at me anyway, but.
Right.
All right, man. Let's talk about some games we got going this week. We're gonna pick 4 NFL games.
Yep.
Last week we did all right. Went 4-1 with our picks. Our lock didn't quite lock, but other than that, everybody else came through for us.
So. Yeah, you follow through those ones. Go 4-1. That's a pretty good week. So.
I know expectations are high now for this next week and these picks. Anyway,
makes me a little nervous. I know.
All right, let's talk about our first game that we are going. All right, bear with me here. That we are going to pick, and that game is. We're going to talk about it. Jets Bills. You can see it up on the screen here. Last game, it was 27-18 that's the predicted score, 27-18.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think,
definitely.
The Bills coming at 9-3. They did just get the lead back in the division, with that win, their last win last week. And The Jets are sitting at 7-5, so they're definitely right on that playoff brink. So this is kind of the reason that I picked this one again is I think it's going to be competitive for a while. I don't know how you feel. I'm just not a believer that Mike White can roll into Buffalo and keep this competitive the entire way. I think it'll be good. Their defenses are both good.
In my notes here, I got White's going to go cold.
Yeah.
And the Jets D's just going to be gassed by the end of the game.
Yeah.
From trying to hold up and hold on. And I think they're going to leg it out to get to that -10 maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Diggs and Allen are dudes, and they love each other, and they're feeling it right now. So
Yeah.
that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and a game like this, when you see a line get up to 10 like that, typically the public loves the +10 when they see it get that high in the NFL, right? Because NFL is a competitive league all the time.
Hard to believe there'd ever be a +10.
Yeah, and the line has not moved, so it's like it's kind of odd. The Bills are getting 71% of the money on this thing, and it's like I just have a feeling that this thing will be close for a while. But I think, like you said, the Jets defense just can't hold up all day, especially with the firepower the Bills have.
Yeah, and I think the Jets are they're living on emotion a little bit after the Zach Wilson stuff, and the defense definitely has got a chip on their shoulder. And but I don't know, but chips on your shoulder don't last forever in the NFL. That's for dang sure.
No, and I mean, unless you're an elite, absolute top 10 quarterback, which Mike White obviously isn't, it's tough to stay consistent.
And it doesn't mean
you can have a couple good games, but it's tough to stay consistent when you're really truly not that talented, and that's what I think we have here, honestly.
Yeah. And I like Mike White. I think you watch him play and whatnot, and he's going to be a solid quarterback in the league, backup. He already has been. This isn't the first time he's played a little bit and whatnot. So,
yep.
Who you taking?
Bills -10.
Bills -10. I like that.
Yep.
I can take Bills -10 for sure.
I will lay the points on that one for sure. Yep.
Right on. Well, right on. I got to quit saying that on the show. Sounds good. Next game, let's go to the top of the screen here and find Minnesota, Detroit.
This is going to be a good one, I think. And this one, there's a lot of weird things going on with this line. And it's one of those games where you look at it, right?
-2.
The Lions are 5-7.
I can't believe the Lions are -2 in this game.
That's what I mean. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, the Vikings are 10-2. It's in Minnesota, and the Lions are favored by 2, right? So this game opened up at Vikings -1, which even that line seems a little odd, doesn't it? I mean, you'd think Vikings at home against the Lions, but the Lions are playing good football right now, and Dan Campbell's got them going. They're motivated. It just seems like one of those games where the Vikings are just an odd deal. So that's why I just think the Lions, for some reason, it's just one of those deals.
Everybody's saying worst 10-2 team ever. Yeah. Worst 10-2 team in the NFL, ever in the NFL, whatnot. So they're battling that stigma.
Yeah.
And
then they come out
for the last 3-4 weeks, people have been kind of leaning into that.
Yeah.
Leaning into that.
Well, especially at home, they have not played well at home. I mean, the Cowboys hammered it at home last week. They snuck one out at home. I think they ended up winning by 5. They did cover, but it's not like they've played out like great football at home.
Well, and you can see the Lions getting better and better and better and better. So it's going to be a battle. The last time it was 28-24, I see. So,
and the momentum, I don't know. The momentum's just there for the Lions. And like I said, Dan Campbell, there's something, I don't think rah-rah guys last forever in the NFL, but they can make runs.
Well, and he's rah-rah, but behind it is rah-rah-rah. Now, 6 inches here and 12 inches. I mean, he's a tactician. He played in the league. He knows that. So rah-rah's followed up by a good information, or the guys trust him and feel like he can be yelling at you, and it's not just all lip service. It's like yelling at you for a reason.
So, one thing that really popped out to me, and this is what made me make this pick. 91% of the money is on the Lions in this game, and it moved from Vikings -1 to Lions -2. So that means the guys with some big money are betting on the Lions in this game, and that's who
Well, and they're both
typically
dome
try
teams.
to follow.
You know, they're both dome teams, so that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Not that being in a dome would be an issue, but
I don't know. Yep. So I think I like Lions -2. I think it's just too weird to pick the Vikings here, so I'm going with Lions -2.
Lions -2. All right. Who do we got after the Lions? What do we got after the Lions game? Let's see here. We have got Jacksonville, Tennessee next.
Yeah, this is another one of those ones that popped out at me, just because of where the money is, and it's another odd one. The Titans 7-5, the Jaguars are 4-8, right? So you look at that as one of those deals where, well, the Titans should roll, right? They're at home. They got the Jaguars
playing really well, by the way.
Yep.
Really well. The Jaguars' offensive line is hitting. They are playing very well right now.
Yep. And I'll preface this conversation with, Trevor Lawrence is questionable right now. If Trevor Lawrence does not play in this game, then I would not bet it at all. I would leave it alone completely because you don't know what you're getting. But if he's played and he's healthy, like you said, their offense has played well.
Sure.
And I think the Titans are if you can stop the runs with the Titans, I don't see a ton of firepower there. I mean, really, what are they going to do if they can't run the ball consistently?
No, they struggle. They're like Old Faithful, right? You know what's coming.
Right.
You know when it's coming. You know what time it's going to happen. You know who it's going to go to. And so if that works for them, then they can Old Faithful their way right through the game, right?
Yep.
But boy, when they really got to play catch up, or the clock starts working against them a little bit like that, they're getting rid of AJ Brown. Obviously, GM gets hammered after AJ Brown has a huge game against him. But
that one didn't pay off, did it?
That didn't pay. Well, it didn't pay off this year.
Yeah.
You don't know how that's going to go down the line.
Right.
Down the line in any way. But if Trevor Lawrence plays.
Yep. If he plays, I'm taking the points. So I'm taking Jaguars +4. Yep. And that is, like I said, only if Lawrence is playing. If he isn't, I'm not going to switch it and go to Titans. I'm just not playing it at all because it's just too inconsistent with what you're going to get quarterback play, and you know how important that is in the NFL, obviously. So.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Absolutely. For sure. All right. Well, we're kind of going through these a little bit quicker than I had thought we would. Our last game for these 4 games we're picking this week is Carolina, Seattle.
Yes.
And what are you thinking about this one?
Here's 7-5. Seahawks sitting at 7-5. Panthers are 4-8. Panthers have been pretty bad. Panthers just shipped Baker Mayfield out of town, as we know. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're just going to commit to PJ Walker. And what's the status on Darnold? I don't know what he does. Is he playing consistently? Is he not playing? Is he hurt? Is he not? I mean,
I don't know. I heard a thing the other day that said, I haven't given up on Baker Mayfield yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't given up on Sam Darnold yet.
Right.
This was an analyst or something on TV. So I haven't heard much about him, but.
Well, they just shipped Baker Mayfield out of town. And obviously you saw his little comeback win last night.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Woke up feeling dangerous.
He was pumped.
Yeah. It wasn't good. Yeah. No, but here's one thing that popped out for me. The Seahawks have to run the ball to be successful. I don't think you can let Geno throw it 40 times and win a game. The Seahawks do not have healthy running backs. They have one healthy running back right now. Kenneth Walker's questionable. And he's kind of been the X factor for them as a rookie this year. Which was a great draft pick because they've used him a lot and he's been effective. And I think he allows Geno to have a little bit of that comfort zone where he can sit back there a little bit, knowing they can run the ball. If he doesn't play, I definitely do not like the Seahawks. They have no depth at running back at all. So, if
well, it's going to be Geno and Geno's experience and things like that. I mean, I was watching a deal last week on McAfee's show, and they have that Shipley on, old lineman, and he kind of he goes through plays every week.
Oh, yep.
Up on a big board. And they had a big touchdown pass from the Seahawks last week, and he showed how Geno is good in the pocket, right? Mm-hmm. He's been around, done it. It looks just like a drill when he steps over and he slides over. And that's the difference between a veteran backup like that and some of these younger guys is a lot of the little things and a lot of the stuff that extends the play. So with Seattle, Geno has to do that stuff for them to win.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Said, he has to do that stuff for
them.
them.
I think the Panthers D can hold up. I mean, if they don't have to worry about the run as much if Kenneth Walker is out of this game. I think that they're good enough where they can handle Geno Smith, and they do have some good or some good wide receivers too, and they've done a good job throwing the ball for the most part. But that's all been set up with the run, and you take that run away. I just think it's going to be a different game, and that's kind of the reason for me going Panthers plus 4.5 and taking the points is that right there. If you take the run away, I just feel like the league's kind of catching up to the Seahawks a little bit. And I don't know how you feel about that. They kind of came out hot. They're feeling good. They're playing really well. They led the division for a while, and then they've kind of just went down the last 4 to 5 weeks. And I think the league's kind of catching up a little bit. And,
the league's figuring them out. They are, every team is kind of downshifting right now, trying to see what they got left in the tank. Like, how much do I got here as we come into the end of the year? And the Seahawks are kind of in that same boat where they're either going to downshift and really get after it, or just going to be plugging along.
And I just think, how much talent does Seattle really have, or was their scheme just really good? And when you get down to games like this, when you got guys injured everywhere, everybody has injuries.
Well, they got you got to have talent. Metcalf. I mean, they have good receivers, I guess.
They do, yeah. You got to have talent, and you got to have depth, and I just think the Seahawks are kind of regressing back to where I think we all thought they would be to start the year, right?
Yep.
At the bottom of the league and looking for draft picks. But and that's just the reason for me taking the points here. I think that you can't run the ball. I would love to see I would love to take the points with the Panthers.
Panthers 6.5, huh? I'd agree with that. I like that pick too.
Yeah, no, that's
but all right.
I really like that one. Yeah.
So those are our 4 games for this week. First game that we picked was Buffalo. Buffalo -10. And then after Buffalo -10, we got the Lions -2. After the Lions -2, we're going to go with Jacksonville +4.
Taking the points. Yep.
Taking the points there. And our last pick of the day here will be, what was it? Panthers. Will be the Panthers 6.5.
So we're taking the favorites in 2, taking the dogs in 2.
Taking the chalk in 2, and taking the points in there, not the points in the other one.
Yep, I think
I'm working on my lingo, man.
That's all right. You got it figured out. It's a good mix, I think. Yeah.
So those 4 games were the 4 games we kind of felt like were going to be the ones to watch this week as we're getting towards the end of the season, week 14. They got 17 games this year?
Yep, 17 games. Yep.
So we're coming down to the end. What are you thinking, like Super Bowl wise? I know we were talking Super Bowl futures the other day.
Yeah, I kind of went and wrote down some of the future bets here and just kind of talk about some of this and where you think the value might lie in some of these. You look at like a team like the Bills are plus 380 to win the Super Bowl right now. To me, I'm not a big believer in the Bills. I don't know why. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be competitive. They just haven't really shown that they can get over the top yet.
Well, if you got to score 45 or whatever it was last year to beat KC in that big battle back and forth,
that shootout they had. Yep.
You can't live like that your whole life.
Yep.
You got to figure it
out.
Well,
and I just think you look at the next team down, you look at the Chiefs plus 450, right? You're getting, a little bit better money for your bet. The Bills haven't shown that they can consistently beat the Chiefs yet. I mean, they have in the regular season, but when it matters, they haven't been able to do it.
And they got to go through each other.
Yep. Right? They're going to go through each other. I think that, they're both going to be cold weather games. So it's going to be a battle, whether you're in Kansas City or Buffalo. Obviously Buffalo, as long as they don't have the snow. If Buffalo gets the snow and they're at home, you probably lean towards them as far as that goes because you can
What are they right now, both those teams?
The Bills are plus 380. The Chiefs are plus 450 to win the Super Bowl right now. And I kind of went down the line a little bit. I look at a team like the 49ers. I know that's your squad, and I'm not trying to suck up or anything.
You should.
But plus 900. I know Garoppolo's out right now, but there's a chance he can come back at the end of the year. I look at the talent all over that field. And if you want to take a value bet, do I think the Niners are the best team right now? No, I don't think they're the best team. But if you look at getting plus 900 right now, and if they can get Garoppolo back, they got guys everywhere on that field.
if they and the way they play defense, those linebackers are so much fun to watch. Those
Yep.
guys are badass for
Yep.
sure.
No, and I think you're getting plus 900 for them. Another team that I like is the Bengals plus 1,200. I know they got to go through the Bills or the Chiefs.
Well, we liked the Bengals last week in a game that we shouldn't have,
Yep.
and they pulled through.
Yep. No, and I think they're getting better. They're starting to get things figured out, and like their defense is good enough to win games. You saw that last year on their run.
Yep.
They have a top, in my opinion, top 8 quarterback in the league, Joe Burrow. That's what you need to be successful at the end of the year.
And everybody's believing in him.
Yep, and they got the local flair with Logan Wilson too. So
Oh, and you know who else they have with their right tackle is Riley Reef from Parkston.
Oh yeah,
South
that's right.
Dakota.
That's right. Yep.
So there's plenty
So they
of
got some local talent there.
local blood on
Yep.
that team. But
Yep.
I agree. Plus, those white uniforms are sweet
Yeah, they are cool.
with the white helmets and the. And
Yep.
the-
I just
I just don't know about their defense. I guess I mean Logan. I've been watching, but I don't know if they're not like the Niners defense. That's
no,
for sure.
no, they're definitely not.
The Niners are going to win with their defense. The Bengals will have, if they're going to win it, their defense is going to have to play up to their offense. So to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, and I think Shanahan said a lot about the 49ers when Garoppolo went down. He just said, we'll change our offense a little bit. Obviously, Garoppolo and Purdy aren't running guys, but
Direct.
I see
a lot
feel
of
good.
direct snap stuff. I mean, you got Debo, you got McCaffrey.
Yep.
I mean, just direct snap, run game.
and you know how good Shanahan is. He'll figure something out with those guys. And their defense is going to give them a chance to win every game from here on out.
I'm not saying obviously he's not excited that Garoppolo got hurt,
Right.
but I bet he's like, oh man, now all this stuff that I've been keeping in my back pocket. If we ever had a situation, maybe I'll have to dust some of that off.
Yeah, yeah. Find a way to win some different
He's
games
going,
in different ways.
hey Dad, what do you think?
Yeah, right.
It's a nice
Couple Super Bowl wins from Mike, right?
Yep, for sure.
Yep. No, and I think going back to our pick against the Vikings this week. I mean, they're 10-2. Is that right? 10-2.
Yep.
10-2, and they're plus 1,700. They're out of the top 8 teams that I picked, they're 7 right now. So there isn't a lot of belief in them there either.
No, the only person putting money on that number is somebody who wears purple.
Yep. Lives in the Twin Cities or
lives in
Eastern South Dakota.
Yeah, or Eastern South Dakota.
Yep. So no, I just think those are some intriguing ones. If I had to pick one of those to take right now, if I was going to put $100 on one of these teams right now, I would put it at plus 900 with the 49ers.
Yeah,
That's where I'd go right now.
I would agree with that. I would say if I was going to put money now, the Niners are the most confident, and that's saying that, and we're saying that after after Garoppolo gets hurt.
Yeah. I would maybe wait 2 weeks and see kind of what the Garoppolo situation looks like.
Who'd they sign? Josh Johnson?
Yeah, I think that's who they brought in for a backup. Yep.
So he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, I just think that, their line's not going to go down a ton as far as, you're still going to get 900 plus probably. If in 2 weeks they say Garoppolo's done for the year, then I would maybe shy away from that a little bit more, just because I just think you got to have somebody that can make, 4 to 5 big plays in a playoff run to keep you in games. And I think,
Well, and if you think back to last year, and now McDaniel's gone, but that run game that they had going with Debo and stuff was.
Yep. If you had to pick
pretty
somebody
solid.
besides the Niners in that list, who would you go with besides the Niners in that list?
Well, first of all, I probably wouldn't go with the Niners because that's a jinx in my book.
Yep.
But if I was going to lay money down, I would probably. I don't know. I like the Buccaneers.
That's a big number.
I mean, that's plus 1,800.
1,800.
And you're never going to want to cut out Brady. So if I was putting money now, I might do that just because that's going to pay off the biggest.
Yep.
Now,
You can win some money there.
if I got to put all of my money down on that, probably not. But I would.
Yep.
I wouldn't be afraid to throw some.
$100 here or there, right?
Oh yeah, a couple $100 at that. A couple $100 at the Vikings.
What do you think of the Eagles?
I know. I just said that I didn't like the Vikings, but I'd throw a
Yeah.
couple hundred. I mean, they seem to be blessed this
Plus
year.
1,700.
Eagles for sure.
Yeah. They got
Yeah,
a shot,
Jalen.
right?
God dang, I didn't even think of that.
Run. I mean, they're plus 500. If you can run the ball like they have ran the ball.
And then what do they call him? What are they? AJ Brown. They're calling him
Well, he looks like a god.
big Batman and little Batman.
Yeah.
Him and the kid from Alabama on the
Yep.
other side.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, those are two.
they got the
guys.
weapons.
Yeah.
And their defenses look good too.
And then Jalen's going to keep plays alive outside of the pocket, and that's where those guys are going to be deadly. Trying
Yep.
to stick with them when you have to, when you have to scramble and
I think a lot will be shown here. The Cowboys and the Eagles play right around Christmas. I think it might be, the day after Christmas maybe or something. I think those two play.
No faith in the Cowboys.
And that could be a big one coming in.
Yeah.
We'll kind of see where they both are. The Cowboys have played well the last couple of weeks. The Eagles have played well all year.
Yeah.
The Eagles got them the first time. I'm just curious to see how that game goes or what it looks like. And I think we'll figure out what the Cowboys are. If the Cowboys can beat them, then I think that Cowboys have a legit shot to win, a playoff game. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I don't think they're headed to the Super Bowl ever. But
boy, it would be tough for me to be betting on them all the way there. That's for sure.
I know. Yep.
So pick a team not on that list that can make a run and show up.
Geez, that's a tough one. I don't know. I just I look at a team like, who else is even in contention? And go to the standings real quick, can you?
Yeah. Let's see.
Look at that here. I mean, I just don't want to pick a team that has no shot of making the playoffs or they got a tough schedule. I mean, there you go, far right standings. Let's take a look at this and see kind of where these teams are sitting and what it looks like if they have a shot to even.
All right, AFC East. Oh, Dolphins.
Dolphins, yeah.
That would be somebody that I would put in there that, maybe throw some money that isn't on your list.
I don't hate that at all. I think the Dolphins, which means that if they're not even in the top 8, they're getting better than plus 1,800 to win the Super Bowl, which I don't hate that either.
Yeah, that's a good.
Ravens are sleepers, but if Lamar's got to battle that knee the rest of the way, I just don't see them being nearly as effective as they have been.
I feel we were talking last week, about Hurts and Lamar.
Yeah.
And I think Lamar's the scheme they're running with him is different than the Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen's better in the pocket than Lamar Jackson is.
I think they trust Jalen's arm more than they trust Lamar's arm.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. Yeah. So he's going to have to, Lamar's going to have to make a ton of plays for them to make that run. Whereas I think
Jalen, if he's not healthy or if he's even a little hurt with that knee, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to trust it as much.
Yeah. Bengals, are the Bengals on? They were on that.
Yeah, Bengals, Browns are out, Steelers are out. Titans, no belief in the Titans. The rest of those teams are already out.
Yeah. Chiefs, Chargers, no. At the beginning of the year, I thought the Chargers might be able to play a little bit.
Yeah, Chargers look like they're in the hunt to make it at least. I just don't believe in them a ton, though.
Broncos, that's too bad.
Yeah, Broncos we'll call them eliminated.
These two teams, Eagles, Cowboys.
I think that's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the NFC South is just garbage, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers got a free pass basically in. I mean, I know they're only up a game, but
6-6, and I'd still put money down that they're going to make a run.
I would not. I mean, I've bet against Tom Brady too many times. So I think I've learned my lesson. I either stay away or just go with him.
Yeah.
At this point.
And Niners 8-4.
And then the Seahawks. I don't believe in the Seahawks. I don't believe in the Seahawks. I like like I said, I like the Niners. That's kind of would be my pick. But other than that, so somebody not on that list, I guess the only one that I would probably even look at is the Chargers at 6-6. That is if they make the playoffs. They're not even fully in yet or even close to in yet. But
yeah,
I just love Justin Herbert. I think he can do a lot of things. They have a ton of weapons on the offensive side. My concern, are they going to be able to stop any of those teams? They can't stop the Chiefs. They can't stop the Bills. No. I don't think they can stop the Bengals. They're going to have to score 50 points to win playoff games.
Yeah,
that's tough to. That's
50 points, or somebody's going to have to play really, really poorly.
Yeah, I think that. The rest of those teams are kind of out. Chargers would be my fringe, and they're probably, I don't even know what their odds are. I would guess they're above 2,500 though.
Yeah, probably, or right around there.
Yep. So,
right on. I hate that. Let's see what else. We didn't talk any college football.
Let's talk a little college basketball real quick and kind of where we want to go with that. Football's here the next, through January. I think once we get, after the new year here, I'd like to start flipping over and talking more college basketball just because we're getting a little closer to that March Madness stuff and conference play starts here in the next couple of weeks. They usually typically start, around Christmas and then through January. And that's where we start to see what teams really are when they start playing some true road games and some games like that. And I think going forward, some good good college basketball teams. I think this might be one of the better March Madnesses that we have, because I don't think there's not a clear one, I don't think. I think Houston's good, Gonzaga's good, some of those teams up there at the top. I mean, you look at a team like North Carolina, who was one, and they haven't won since. You know, they're 0-4 since being, since playing true games. So
and the talent throughout college basketball spread so
it has
so well out with all the different programs and all the.
Well, and I think the NIL,
tough.
I think the NIL has changed things as far as
There'll be guys sticking.
you can go make more money
Yeah.
at a Texas A&M now, right?
Or then, these guys that leave early and then they end up going overseas because that's their only other shot to make money. But now they can make money and stay at the school.
Yep. Well, and I think the Timmy deal is a great example of that. I mean, he could have went and been a fringe NBA player, a G League player, or an overseas player. He said, well, if you're going to pay me that kind of money, I'll stay here another year. I love the experience, and maybe I can improve my draft stock, or in the end, I'm making a lot of money playing college basketball, so who really cares in the end?
And then you start looking at teams like, was it Providence last year, where their average starters were 25 years old.
Yep.
23, 24, 25-year-old.
Older kids. Yep. More experience.
Through the portal. And I think you're going to see more of that because those guys that are leaving early because they need to help pay the rent someplace or they need to put food, they can do that and still get their education. So
yeah, and I just think that's where those mid-majors have been so successful.
Absolutely.
The last, you've noticed so many more upsets the last, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's because a lot of those kids are 22, 23 years old now.
Yep.
And they got to go play Kentucky. Yeah, but
or the
Kentucky
leaders on your team are 23, 24, and they're not the kids. You don't have 18 and 19-year-olds, and then a couple of older guys.
And I think that's why those teams have shots against teams like Kentucky and Duke and North Carolina. And if you can run 5 22, 23-year-olds out there against 5 to 8, 18 to 19-year-olds, I mean, they might not be as talented, but I'll tell you what, if they've been there a long time, they know your system, and I think that's big. So
I'm a Husker guy, and just watching them play this year compared to last year, they had McGowens, who was a 5-star, and they played a little different. Well, this year they have a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of, but they're balling out, because they got their shot, and they play a lot more as a team.
They had a big win. They had a big win.
Beat Creighton the other
this week. Yeah,
yeah, it was a huge win
at Creighton, wasn't it?
Creighton.
That's a big win.
Mike Miller's kid plays on Creighton.
Yep. You got some minutes.
Piatkowski's kid used to be on Nebraska's team, but I didn't see him on the roster this year. He was a walk-on.
Yep.
So
I think Hoiberg's going to get it figured out down there.
Hoiberg's kid's a walk-on at Nebraska.
Should be able to get some recruits in there with the NIL money and that type of thing. So
yeah, I think he's back to coaching basketball instead of bringing in.
Yep.
For the longest time, it was like Hoiberg's there, come there. You're going to go to the NBA because he's an NBA guy.
Yep.
Well, now if he's back to where he's just got to coach basketball, maybe it'll make a little bit of difference.
Let's just worry about winning games.
We have a little guy on our team from Japan.
Yep.
And he played on Japan's 3-on-3 Olympic team.
Oh,
Did you know they had 3-on-3 in the Olympics this year? 3-on-3 basketball.
I didn't know that.
In the Olympics.
Huh.
I just saw Jimmer Fredette playing in these world championships the other day. Oh, really? Man, he can fill it up.
Yeah, he's still.
But this kid can shoot and shoot and shoot, and so, which is fun, all the local fans. But you know how big the Cornhuskers are in Japan now?
Yeah, I bet they
because of the social media and how many people. I mean, they get huge hits, which is pretty crazy.
Go home and be a celebrity now.
Oh yeah, I mean he's so. Those are kind of the neat little things about college basketball. As the season's gone along, guys like that start to show up, and they can play a little bit. And so, like you said, mid-majors teams that haven't been dominating, they're finding guys who can play.
Yep, they are, and I think that's it only makes the sport better. And I really think what would take the next step and make college basketball even better is let those kids, when they're coming out of high school, if they want to go right to the pros, let them go.
Yeah. Don't
make them stay there for a year. I think you let them go right away. I think a lot of them aren't going to anymore because of the money that they can make in college now. So I think some of those kids, it's going to be a tougher choice. I'm going to go to the NBA. I might be a fringe guy, or I could go to one of these schools and make, $500,000 this year to play college basketball.
And you're going to see that college money slow down a little bit as teams are like, oh, hey, we got this kid coming in. Here's $1 million NIL.
Yeah.
And then he leaves the next year.
Yeah.
Well, the people that are paying that money.
Yeah, those sponsors are not going to.
They didn't get that money because they're not smart, right? They're not just going to throw it away. They need to get,
I think you're going to see it too, as far as like guys start busting too. Mm-hmm. You know, you get a guy that you give $1 million to, and he's shitty.
Yep, and it's a bust,
and he's gone. He's in the transfer portal the next year. I mean, it's like,
and that's going to affect me writing, not me, but a booster writing that check again.
Yeah,
to the next guy.
They're going to slow their roll a little bit. On trying to get just guys
like it's business now, right? It's business. Now I'm a businessman.
Just because you like the Huskers doesn't mean you like writing $1 million checks to guys that don't stay or aren't good.
Or at Duke or at Florida State,
anywhere.
Or ask Texas A&M how it went. You know, their football team was not good this year.
3-8, weren't they?
And they spent a ton of money. Yeah. So when that starts happening more and more, the money won't be such a layup.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, right. No, I agree.
Right on, man.
Yeah, it's a good little slate for this week, huh?
Yeah, I thought 4 games. We're 4-1.
How we do.
You know what I'd like to do for the basketball tournament, is we'll have to keep track. Like, let's, throw some money into an account and see where we can get it to by the end.
Yeah, start tracking everything.
Positive or negative, I guess.
Yeah, and I think once we get down to those tourney games and we start tracking that and we start breaking down the tournament before, I would love to throw $10 on every single game, both of us, and see how we do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and just kind of go and keep a running total that
track our standings and everything, and maybe you and I have a little competition between the two of us and see who's buying a steak dinner.
Yep, that's what we you know this, but back in the day, we used to have a group of dudes, right, that would go down to Vegas every year for the tournament.
Yep, I made a trip with you guys a few times.
Yep, and then your age guys got a big group together, and then there's a couple other. So there's 4 or 5 groups of Spearfish guys rolling around.
Yep. I would love to get back to that too.
Yeah. But you and I passed each other. I remember one morning it was a foggy morning in the casino,
8 a.m.
8 o'clock, both drinking coffee, going, oh, geez.
Yeah, I was just going to bed actually at that time.
Yeah,
so that was back in the days when I was a little more fit to do stuff like that. I'm more of a 11:45 Vegas guy now.
Yeah.
You get past midnight, you start to struggle.
For sure, yeah. We used to do those. We'd all put in a big parlay when we first got there. That tournament, that first Saturday or first Thursday, when
everybody puts $100 or something like that.
Yeah, and we hit a few of those where it just paid for the rooms, paid for the trip. And it was really nice to be a part of.
Were you with us that one trip when we were up top at the Planet Hollywood and we got our own little viewing room?
Yeah.
And they had
man cave.
Yep, man cave. They had buffet food all day long and drawings, and we had our own 4 TVs and all you can eat, all you can drink.
Some of the best money I probably ever spent.
Ever. And it was like $400 a person.
Had your own betting window. We went to the Wynn one year. Speaking of Jimmer Fredette, that's when he was at BYU, but and we were in they have a big 1,500 seat theater where they do all their shows and stuff. And then they had 5 big screens. And then you had your own betting window and your own concessions or whatnot. But it was pretty awesome being in there because you're sitting in there and there's, 1,000 other people.
Yep.
And everybody's watching a different game. So something will happen in one game and half the place will get up. Whoa. And so you're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yep. Yeah. That's some of those trips to March Madness were incredible.
Yeah, it was fun. So we're going to recreate our own here in Spearfish in this little studio.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do that for sure.
Our own little man cave, so to speak. Maybe we'll do some, we'll get some cameras out here and have our own little man cave and live stream it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like that. Yeah. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming in today. I'm glad we got this done before the weekend. We'll get it out on YouTube so everybody can put their bets in, win their money.
Let us know how you're doing.
Yep. Let us know how you're doing.
Let us know if you want to stop by the show and give us your picks. We'd love to have some guests on here if people want to come in and give us some opinions and tell us we're wrong. That'd be even better.
Yeah, I need more people in my life telling me I'm wrong. That's for sure.
Yep.
Another thing, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff they tell you to do on YouTube. We appreciate everybody listening. Heck, we got over 50 people watched last week.
Yep. That was a good start. Week 1.
I don't even think there's 50 people that even like me, let alone listen to what we have to say. So
that's all right.
All right, man.
All right, buddy.
See you next week.
Sounds good.